Excellencies, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, a very good morning to all of you. And may I say thank you very much to the Minister for your words. We managed to get some AI summary of what you were saying. So this shows us that technology does help when other types of technology do not work. Let me say it is indeed an honor to stand before you today representing the proud nation of the Seychelles, a small island developing state with a strong voice in championing sustainability, equity, and resilience. For us, sustainability is not just a choice. It is a necessity for our survival and prosperity. Here I would like to extend my deepest gratitude to His Highness Sheikh Mohammed bin Rashid Al Maktoum, Vice President and Prime Minister of the United Arab Emirates, for his visionary leadership and gracious invitation to this year's World Government Summit. Of course, we are meeting under the theme, Shaping the Future of Governments. I also thank the organizers for providing Seychelles the opportunity to share its journey and insights in this SDGs in Action Forum. Our gathering is more than a meeting of minds. It is a call to action, reminding us of our shared responsibility to build a future that is sustainable, inclusive, and just. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, as we approach 2030, the horizon of Sustainable Development Goals, we must celebrate the strides we have made, while at the same time acknowledging the road ahead. Our current priority is achieving the SDGs by 2030, but we must begin designing a 2045 global agenda, one that is bold, ambitious, and demands decisive action. The journey towards 2045 started with the Millennium Development Goals, the MDGs, evolved through the SDGs, and now calls for a new vision, the Extended Development Goals, the XDGs for 2045. As we move forward, we must draw from the lessons, experiences, successes, and shortcomings of previous frameworks. The year 2045 will mark the 100th anniversary of the United Nations, a milestone that must reflect our commitment to global progress. The next global agenda must be built on inclusivity, equity, sustainability, resilience, and driven by technology. Seychelles, my small little country, has integrated the SDGs into its national development plans. Our blue economy model, marine conservation efforts, and commitment to renewable energy are prime examples of how sustainability and economic growth can coexist. But we are not alone in this mission. The challenges we face today, climate change, economic inequality, food insecurity, biodiversity loss, and geopolitical instability, demand collective action. Climate change, in particular, poses an existential threat to nations like Seychelles. Rising sea levels, more frequent extreme weather events, and the loss of marine biodiversity threaten not just our economy, but our very way of life. Yet, challenges, as we always proclaim, create opportunities. Now is the time to rethink our economies, invest in green and blue economies, and accelerate the transition to clean energy. Seychelles has pioneered marine conservation by designating 30% of our EEZ as protected areas. This stands as a model of what small nations can achieve when political will aligns with innovative financing, such as our groundbreaking Debt for Nature swap, which has mobilized resources for marine protection and such like activities. We call on the global community to adopt similar nature-positive financing strategies. Again, ladies and gentlemen, no single country, sector, or entity can address these challenges alone. Collaboration and partnership are the bridge to progress. Seychelles has worked very closely with international partners to drive sustainable tourism, fisheries management, and climate adaptation. But the true impact only comes when governments, the private sector, civil society, and academia unite to transform innovative ideas into sustainable solutions. The 2045 Agenda must prioritize public-private partnerships that foster green technology, sustainable food systems, and inclusive digital economies. Regional cooperation is also very crucial. Initiatives like the African Continental Free Trade Area can be game changers for sustainable development, unlocking economic potential while driving regional integration. However, we must ensure that these frameworks align with global sustainability principles. The future belongs to our youth. But the real question is, are we preparing them to lead? Today's young people will inherit the world we shape today. We must ensure they are not just participants, but decision makers in shaping the 2045 Agenda. Empowering youth as leaders, activists, and entrepreneurs is crucial. Seychelles has embraced this through such initiatives like the Youth Parliament and youth-led environment movements. And these demonstrate that young people are not just ready, but eager to lead, innovate, and take responsibility for their future. A vision without action remains but a dream. We must ensure that the post-2030 agenda is not just aspirational, but actionable. I urge the global community to commit to the following priorities. 1, climate justice and resilience. We must go beyond mitigation and focus on adaptation and resilience, building particularly for vulnerable nations and communities. Secondly, sustainable finance mechanisms. We need to mobilize innovative financial instruments such as climate bonds, blue bonds, and green taxes to fund sustainable development. Thirdly, technology for good. AI, blockchain, and big data should be leveraged to advance education, healthcare, and environmental sustainability. Fourthly, equity and inclusion. The future we want must be one where no one is left behind. Gender equality, social protection, and access to basic services must be at the core. And finally, a new global governance model. The world order must evolve to reflect the needs of the 21st century with stronger multilateral institutions that are more inclusive and representative. Seychelles believes in a world where development is not a privilege, but a right. We believe in a future where people and planet coexist in harmony. We believe in global society that is not driven by short-term profits, but by long-term prosperity for all. Leadership is not just about governance, it is about vision, courage, and accountability. We must be bold enough to make decisions that may be unpopular today, but are necessary for a better tomorrow. The future we pass on to the next generations depends on the choices we make now. As we march towards 2030 and beyond, let us act decisively, let us act collectively, and let us act courageously. The future we want by 2045 is within our grasp, but only if we work together, innovate together, and lead together. The time for action is now. The next generation is waiting. The world we build today is the world they will inherit tomorrow. Therefore, I call on all of us to not fail the next generations. I thank you.